What's going on, everybody? Ryan Pineda here. In today's video, I'm going to be going over all the different ways that you could buy real estate without spending any of your own money. Now, here's the deal. When people hear that you can invest in real estate with no money, they instantly think it's a scam. Or at least that's how I was when I first heard about it back in the day when I was getting started. For those of you who don't know, I got my real estate license back in 2010 when it was really difficult to buy and sell homes. At that point, the market had completely bottomed out. People were declaring bankruptcy, everything was becoming a short sale, nobody was getting approved for loans, everyone had bad credit. It was a very tough time to be a realtor, and in fact, there weren't many realtors around even at that point. All the ones that had became realtors in the mid-2000s had all quit because it just wasn't worthwhile anymore. But me, being a naive 21-year-old, I had no idea what I was getting into or how difficult it really was. But even back at that point, I had heard chatters of people saying that you could invest with no money. And I thought that was crazy because people didn't have any money at that time, and I didn't see many people investing. So I kind of just brushed it off to the side and said, whatever, like that's a scam. You cannot buy real estate without any money. That doesn't make any sense. Now fast forward to 2015, and I had decided that I wanted to flip houses and become a house flipper. And as I was doing my research on how to become one, I saw a ton of people talking online about how to buy with no money. And I saw people talk about different methods that I did not quite understand at the time. I wasn't smart enough to go watch YouTube videos, and I don't even know if people were really making YouTube videos at that time about all the things I'm gonna tell you, but I was still a skeptic. And it wasn't until after I had done deals that I realized that yes, you can buy a ton of real estate without spending any of your own money. And the reason I'm telling you that story to start off with is because you're probably in the same boat. I'm sure you've seen all the YouTube ads, you've seen all the Facebook ads, you've seen a bunch of commercials of people saying that, oh, you can buy all this real estate with no money down, just pay me all this money and I'll tell you the way. And I'm sure you're really skeptical about it. But here's the thing, they're not lying. You actually can buy real estate with no money down. I'm just gonna tell you for free in this video all the different ways you can do it. So put your skepticism aside for a few minutes and let's jump in it. Real quick, before we hop in the video, I wanna let you know for the first time ever, I'm gonna be hosting a workshop right here at my office. I'm gonna teach you exactly how we've been doing over 100 real estate deals for the past 3 years straight. So if you want the blueprint and you want the systems, there's more information in the link below. We're gonna be going over everything you need to know both to start and scale a business, all the way from marketing to construction to raising money and finding great deals. And I want this to be a smaller, more intimate event where I can meet you and you can meet my team, ask questions, and get everything you need to succeed. And for that reason, seating is extremely limited. So if you wanna get in, don't wait. Make sure you click the link below and get registered. Now, back to the video. So there are multiple ways to get into it, but the very first way that most people are gonna probably be attracted to is through a private lender. So a private lender is somebody who you know, that could be a family or a friend, and they've got money. And so if you've got access to someone like this who's got a lot of money and they're willing to trust you, then you can get into a deal right now. Now, when I first started, I didn't know anyone personally that had this type of money to support my endeavor. And so I did not do my first deal with no money down. In fact, I maxed out all my credit cards so that I could use it as a down payment for my first deal. I don't recommend doing that anymore because there are so many better ways, which I'm gonna tell you about now. But finding a private lender today is so much easier than it was 5 to 10 years ago. Even if you don't know anyone in your immediate circle that are friends or family, you now have the beauty of social media and the internet to find the person. You have the ability to join Facebook groups. You have the ability to join meetups. You have the ability to go DM people you know who are doing deals. In fact, I've had people DM me deals that I have bought or I have personally funded, and then we split the profits together. I never would have thought in a million years to do that 10 years ago. Mainly because I wasn't on social media to even think of doing that. But social media today is so powerful that you can instantly reach people that you're looking for. And I'm not sure if you realize this, but the government has printed more money in the last year than they ever have in history. And so there are a lot of dollars circulating throughout the world right now, and they want to be put to use for investing. So if you have an opportunity, finding a private lender is not very difficult. I know it may seem hard to comprehend, especially if you don't come from a lot of money, but let me promise you, if you got a good deal, you can find a private lender to fund it and get into that deal for no money. Now, how you structure that deal is gonna be completely different. You can structure it in multiple ways. You can say, hey, I'm gonna pay you a flat interest on your money. It might be 10%, might be 12%. You might even have to pay them a fee on top of that. But the key is, if you want to get into the deal for no money and do that, make sure that they fund the full deal and all the costs associated with it. That includes the purchase price, it includes the renovation cost, it includes closing cost, includes all your holding fees, everything. So don't make the mistake of being underfunded and then run out of money during the project. But another way to do it, which I would probably advise if you're just starting out, is to partner with them on equity. So maybe you go to them and say, hey, let's split the profit 50-50. Let's split it 70-30, 60-40, whatever you can negotiate, just do it. Even if they want 80% and you're only taking 20%, if that's the difference between you doing a deal or not, you should go do it for 20% and just get your first deal under your belt. After you prove yourself, you can try and negotiate a bigger percentage. I've personally taken private lenders and done equity splits with them, and I've personally lent money and done equity splits with the other person. So they're mutually beneficial as long as you're getting a good deal. Now here's the deal with the private lenders. There are two types. You've got the person who is real estate savvy, and so they know what they're evaluating and whether it's a good deal or not. And then you got the person who's just got some money, but they don't really know too much about real estate. For the first person who's savvy, they're gonna be able to tell you whether or not you're getting a good deal. And since they're savvy, they will be willing to fund a good deal because they know. This would be a person like me. If I see that it's a good deal, I'm willing to fund it because I know I'm gonna get a good return and I know it's safe. But the second person is depending on you. And so they're putting their trust more so in you than they are on the deal because they don't really know how to evaluate deals yet. And they're just trusting that, hey, if you think it's a good deal, then I'm gonna believe you because we've built up trust over time. And so if you're gonna take this approach and you're the so-called expert, even though you're new, I would suggest you partner up with a mentor or somebody else who can help guide you through the deal so that you don't make any mistakes and lose their money. And if you're looking for mentorship, I highly suggest joining my rookie coaching program at Future Flipper. You can go check it out at futureflipper.com. We help rookies get their very first deals and go through all of the processes involved with it. Because trust me, there are gonna be problems and issues that you don't know the answer to, but as long as you got the right mentorship and support system, you can get through it. So if you're brand new, just starting out, don't take money if you have no idea what you're doing because you're gonna end up losing their money. Make sure you're in the right system and you understand what you're getting into so that you can get into a profitable deal and you and your lender can both win. Now, private lenders are great, especially if they have enough money to fund the whole deal, but let's say you know somebody who's got a good amount of money, but not enough for a whole deal. This is where you can do what's called gap funding. So here's what gap funding is. Essentially, you're gonna get the majority of the loan from a professional lender. A professional lender would be like a traditional lender, whether it be Wells Fargo, Bank of America, whatever, or a hard money lender. A hard money lender is somebody that lends to investors specifically for flips or rentals. And these lenders will fund 80 to 90% of the deal, so you need to come up with the 10 to 20% gap. And so that means you gotta come up with the 10 or 20% down payment plus the renovation cost and all the closing cost. This is where the term gap comes in because your private investor is gonna fill that gap. So let's just say you need $300,000 all in for a deal. And you know that your lender is gonna give you $250,000. So you need another $50,000 to fill the gap. It's a lot easier to find somebody with $50,000 than it is with $300,000. So you would get your loan with the professional lender, and then you would get the private lender to fill the gap with whatever it is you need. Now, the professional lender will already tell you what kind of terms they want for their loan. Typically, it's just interest and fees. But you're able to be flexible with the gap lender. You can offer them equity, you can offer them interest, you can offer a combination. At the end of the day, it's really what you guys are able to agree on and what makes sense for a win-win. But gap lending is one of the best ways to get started. It's one of the easiest ways to get started. And my guess is, if you're watching this video, you might end up taking that route for your first deal. Now, even though I love private lenders for all the ways I just mentioned, there's actually an option that's much easier than all of those, and it's called wholesaling. Now, I've talked about wholesaling a bunch on other videos, but the basic premise of it is this. You're gonna lock up a property under market value with a seller, and then you're gonna go sell that property to somebody else for more than you got it under contract for. So if you got it under contract for $100,000, you got a buyer for $120,000, you're gonna make the spread of $20,000 as your profit. And with wholesaling, you don't actually have to buy the property. You can just assign your rights to the contract to the buyer. They'll end up funding the whole thing for you. They'll send $100,000 to the seller, $20,000 to you, and they'll get the property. And this was so hard for me to comprehend early on because it just sounded too good to be true. But I can promise you it's not. And I actually did a video more in depth about wholesaling. I'll link to it down below. definitely go check that out if you're interested in going that route. But as I said before, the beauty with wholesaling is you don't need to buy the property yourself. You don't need to get a private investor to fund it for you. You don't need to go fix and flip it. In fact, you don't even need to own the real estate at all. You just gotta find a really good deal and find somebody willing to buy that deal. And the thing to realize is that deal is the key word. If you can find good deals, you can find a way to move that deal and make money. You can move that deal by wholesaling it to an end buyer, and then you can make an assignment fee. You can move that deal by finding a private investor, and they're gonna give you a loan on it, or you guys are gonna partner up on it and split the profit. You can get creative and get a loan on it, plus get a private investor so that they fill the gap. But in all of these scenarios, you're not having any money out of your pocket, and you're making a big profit as long as you find a good deal. So the biggest thing that I always teach my students is that you gotta find good deals, because that is the lifeblood of this business. If you become great at finding good deals, you can literally do whatever you want in real estate. And as I mentioned before in this video, if you're looking for a mentor, if you're looking for a coaching program, you wanna get good at finding deals, definitely go to futureflipper.com. We will help you out. We'll teach you how to do this business in and out, even if you're just brand new, have no idea what you're doing. But the last point I wanna bring home is this: buying real estate without any money is not a scam. You just gotta open your mind up to new things that you have not heard before. And you gotta be willing to get out of your comfort zone and start seeking out the things we talked about in this video. If you commit to taking those steps, you'll be on your way to getting your first deal without using any of your own money. But anyways, if you got value out of this video, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you're subscribed, go follow me on all the socials. Till next time, peace.